Hello everyone. You might have heard the phrase that beautiful things in the world are to be felt within the heart. So, today let's delve into a beautiful poem, A Thing of Beauty by John Keats, one of the most romantic English poet of 19th century. Our requests about the poet. Though John Keats was a surgeon, but he devoted wholly himself to poetry. This excerpt means an extract or a part. So this extract, it voices the poet's eternal love for beauty. His poetry is characterized by sensual imagery used in his odes. So here is the introduction. This poem, A Thing of Beauty, is an excerpt from John Keats' first epic poem, that is Endymion, a poetic romance. The poem is based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, a young shepherd and a poet who lived on Mount Latmos, had a vision of Cynthia, the moon goddess. The enchanted youth resolved to seek her out and so wandered away through the forest and down into the sea. Keats loved beauty to such an extent that he almost worshipped it. And this excerpt voices the poet's eternal love for beauty. This slide, if you see it, it depicts the young shepherd who had a vision about moon goddess, and this entire legend is based on Greek mythology. The theme openly recites the beauty is a source of constant joy. It transcends time and will never fade away but multiply manyfold whenever it flashes our mind. Let's move to stanza 1. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower, quiet for us, and asleep, full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Bower, it means a shady place. Now we go for explanation. The poet speaks of permanent nature of beautiful things which give us eternal joy. Their loveliness keeps on increasing and never fades away. The everlasting beautiful sight of beautiful things is stored in our memory. They give us peace, soothe our emotions, and like a quiet, shady place, give us a sleep full of sweet dreams. A sound sleep results in good health of body and mind and provides good health and peaceful breathing. Now we move on to stanza 2. Therefore, on every morrow is tomorrow, are we wreathing and circling a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Spite of despondence. Spite means ill will, malice. Of despondence means loss of hope. Of inhuman dearth. Dearth refers to scarcity. Of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of the unhealthy and over-darkened ways. See the beautiful use of epithet, unhealthy and over-darkened ways, made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. Pall means the thick cloud, the thick cover from our dark spirits. Dark spirits, negative thoughts. Let's move on for explanation. This shows that every morning when we get up after a sound sleep, all the beautiful memories of our dreams help us to strengthen our bond with the earth. We want to stay at earth. We don't want to move away. That is why the poet feels that every morning we are preparing a wreath of flowers. We are encircling ourselves with flowers, hope and positivity that binds us to the earth more strongly. Hopelessness, the despondence, sadness, the lack of the noble ways and values are a part of human life. It is full of jealousy, ill will, malice, and hatred towards one another. At times we lose faith, we are disappointed, and it often results because of our own actions. We harm ourselves by following unhealthy and wicked paths. But in spite of all this, some wonderful sights of nature helps us to shed the sad and grim thoughts. They remove the veil of gloom, despondence, and bring us new hope and positivity in our lives. So for stanza 3, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon, for simple sheep and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert makes. Covert, shelter, and clear rills, it refers to small streams. Gainst the hot season, the mid-forest brake, BRAK, it refers to the dense growth of moss and ferns, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. So here in this third stanza, the different objects of nature are being expressed. Let's go for explanation. Here the beautiful objects of nature, which are enormous in numbers, are highlighted. He says that the sun, the moon, old and young trees which provide shade to the flora and fauna of the entire vegetation. You can see here the sheep. It refers to human beings and it has a biblical reference to the Christian mythology. According to Christian mythology, the sheep is referred to human beings and the shepherd is Jesus Christ, our Savior. Then we go on for the greenery. The greenery all around, the cool and clear streams, they provide the respite in the heat of summer, and the bushes which are growing around in the forest and the musk roses which bloom amidst them. They're all eternal sources of joy and pleasure. Now to the fourth stanza. And such too is the grandeur. Grandeur, the magnificence, the splendor of the dooms, the dead people. We have imagined for the mighty dead. All lovely tales we have heard or read. An endless fountain of immortal drink, pouring unto us from heaven's brink. Brink is the edge. And mighty dead, it's a metaphor and it refers to the mighty, the people who have noble nature and they are dead, but still the greatness of the deeds make them immortal. Let's go on for explanation. The mighty dead people whose achievements have made them great and powerful inspire us, influence us through their noble works. Beauty is not limited to birth or growth. but it can be seen in magnificence, death. And these people, they have made themselves heroic and sublime. The poet goes on to say that all the lovely tales that we have heard can also be placed among such things of beauty. And when he says, he gives a reference that such examples are like an elixir of life, a never diminishing source of pleasure and delight, an endless fountain of joy that seems to be a precious gift from the heaven. The endless fountain of joy, it again goes to the Greek mythology, in which it is believed that the fountain of immortal drink is pouring to human beings who do their work in a noble and some charitable task, so that they become comparable to the mighty dead or such people who are noble and sublime. Let's go on through the poetic devices. It has a perfect rhyme scheme, AA, BB, CC. See the alliteration that is used. I have defined what is alliteration. You can very easily see, as we say, bind and noble nature, in some shape, some and shape as. So, cooling, covert, all these are the examples of alliteration. Now the thing is anaphora. For example, the same word which is used in two consecutive lines, for example, of noble natures, of the unhealthy. So these are the examples of anaphora. Now the example of metaphor, you can have, there are 4 to 5 examples. Then we go on for the imagery. Imagery which creates a sensory effect of beautiful things which are lined up in a string, a flowery band to bind us. So we can just imagine, we can visualize. So that is called an example of imagery. Similarly, the sprouting shady boon, sprouting everywhere. You saw the greenery, the shade all around, the daffodils, the green forest, the clear rills. So the small streams are going, but you can imagine the clear water coming through you. So that's the imagery. And that is the John Keats known for as the king of imagery. Now we move on to antithesis, the opposite words that are used. For example, trees old and young. So this is the poetic device, antithesis. Then the symbol, simple sheep. When I went for explanation, I told you simple sheep refers to human beings. And word meaning is animal. But here it's used as a symbol where sheep is referred to human beings and Christ is the shepherd. Abundance of examples of transferred epithet. And here you have in which one adjective is used to describe one thing is transferred to the other. For example, gloomy days. Gloomy is the adjective and days is the word through which it has been transferred. So such words are examples of transferred epithet. Now we go on for the other poetic device, that is hyperbole, in which the exaggeration is used as a figure of speech. For example, endless fountain. We all know the size of the fountain, but here endless. So it refers to the hyperbole, exaggeration. Similarly, another word is oxymoron. It's again a figure of speech in which the contradictory words are used. For example, mighty dead. Mighty is powerful, but the powerful, they have the grandeur. But what are they? They are dead. So the contrast, the contradicting words together that has been used is the example of oxymoron. So finally, beauty is truth and truth is beauty. That's life about. And in Hindi also, you know, we all believe firmly Satyam Shivam Sundaram. That is the eternal truth. Let's go on for some practice questions. Please do practice. Such questions come in the board exams. It will help you out to fetch good marks. Thank you. Stay blessed. Stay healthy.